In thinking about alignment to current policy, I'm a little all over the board. Having a Head Start background, um, I definitely see a lot of value in Head Start, but then also the whole notion of the word gap was really pushed. One thing I loved from Head Start was the learning that I received about dialogic reading, which is when you aren't just reading a book verbatim, word for word, but you're really engaging the children in what's happening in the pictures, asking them questions, having them tell the story, and realizing that a story can be shared in very different ways. Um, Maybe one child notices particular people in the book, and other children in the classroom notice different things in the book. Maybe they don't really notice the people. Maybe what stands out to them is the objects or the setting, things like that. I also absolutely love Lisa Del Pitt's article, stuff, well, and book, stuff you would never say in multiplication is for white people. Um, she shares one big dilemma in reading instruction is that teachers are often prevented from engaging in this kind of skills instruction by mandates demanded by particular reading programs. And she goes on to share specifics of that from Reading First program, is an example of governmental interference and fiscal misconduct in education. I couldn't agree more. It continues to fascinate me that politicians with heavy pockets are getting to decide our education system, and I think it's really quite a shame. So, therefore, what needs to for me take place to make sure that I am fighting the good fight for good education and literacy is exposure. And I chose to put these pictures in here to highlight the library. I think our public libraries are incredibly underused. I think libraries should be available to everyone. And if transportation is an issue or getting to the library with your adult is an issue, having teachers take you to the library or having the library come to the school, whatever that looks like, just making sure that those bridges are gapped. And so, or gaps are bridged, and so that kids just have that exposure. We were very lucky during COVID to receive internet and not have to necessarily worry about that. The kids had Chromebooks that they were provided with. But again, not everyone was. And there are stories of kids waiting at bus stops near a coffee shop that had Wi Fi so that they could just receive that access to their education during COVID, which is just beyond me. So, just really making sure that everyone receives the tools they need. COVID also actually gave us this fascinating world of free. So lots and lots of things were opened up for us that maybe necessarily wouldn't have been for some free tours of museums and things like that. Another piece of this collage of pictures is our privilege. And as white, maybe low middle class, but still middle class, my children have access to instruments, music. They can for the most part, read lyrics. This is my son looking at a ballot and explaining all of that to him and showing him the ins and outs of it. And so just having that privilege is something that we have to acknowledge in all of this as well.